Well, hi there, Brigham White. Welcome. I am so excited to have this conversation with you today. I have joining me Brigham White from Offerpad, who Live Now has partnered with to be able to offer our senior living residents that we work together with an alternative solution to selling their home on the open market. Welcome, Brigham.
Hey, thanks for having me, Maureen. Excited to be able to spend a few minutes with you.
You as well, you as well. Well, we're going to dive right in. Maybe a good place to start, though, is why Live Now is offering an alternative to solution to selling the home on the open market. And it doesn't happen very often, but there are times when we are working together with a senior that has a home that's maybe in disrepair or that hasn't been updated or kept up in a long time, and they don't want to deal with putting it on the market because they don't want to get it in shape to put on the market. Or we will sometimes be helping a senior whose maybe spouse is not feeling well, and they don't want to have people traipsing through their home. You know, there's scenarios like that where they need an alternative to putting their home on the open market and having a variety of people coming through their home, managing those appointments, trying to get out of the house, right? They need an alternative solution, and Live Now looked at this situation very closely. I think that our customers know we look long and hard at a service provider before we make a decision to work together with them. And what we do is make sure that their values are aligned with our values. We make sure that their motivation and motives are aligned with ours. And in doing so, we found Offerpad. We found a partner in Offerpad, and I'm excited to have Brigham here today to talk to you about what is an iBuy program, a little bit about Offerpad and how their program works, and what we've done to protect the senior during this process. So welcome, Brigham. I'm going to turn it over to you. Maybe you can just start with, just tell us a little bit about, start with what is an iBuy program, and then a little bit about Offerpad.
Hey, yeah, thanks so much for having me, Maureen. Thanks for partnering with Offerpad. We're excited to work with you guys and your senior living residents. Offerpad, we started about 7 years ago. We have really started as a startup company and continue to grow and expand into new states and new cities and new markets. Offerpad is commonly known as an iBuyer. And what an iBuyer is a disruptive way to sell your home. What I mean by disruption is that if you think about how people sell their homes for decades, it's been a very similar process. Showings, a sign in your yard, having strangers coming in and out of your house. With Offerpad, we wanted to create a better way to sell your home. And what that looks like is being able to go directly to Offerpad, get an offer, a competitive offer on your home that you can decide if this works for you and your family and your situation. And we'll allow you to sell it directly and skip all of the pain, all the hassles, all the frustration that can go in an ever-changing market. Offerpad is there for you. So we really try to empower sellers to consider all sorts of options and lining up the very best solution with what makes the most sense for them. And oftentimes it's timeline, it's convenience. Like you mentioned, it could be health related. And we have provided a number of ways to sell your home a little bit better than what we've all had to do for decades in the past. So excited to be able to hopefully help different customers and sellers understand the different options that Offerpad can provide.
Yeah, absolutely. People do need sometimes alternatives to what's been just one way of doing things for so long. And I think this is a great alternative for some of our client base for sure. Brigham, tell us a little bit about how do you determine that offer? What is the iBuy part of this? Why are you referenced as an iBuy rather than maybe an investor?
Sure. So one of the things that makes Offerpad unique is that we couple technology with real estate experience. So we're not just a technology company that shoots out a value and sends it out without any type of realistic expectation or settings around what the market actually looks like. And that's allowed us to make really good decisions, especially with an ever-changing market. So what we do is we leverage our technology that gets us, I would say, about 85% of the way there. That helps us understand all of the homes that are active on the market in the area, shows us everything that's pending, everything that's been sold recently, and it allows us to come up with a market value for that home. Then we take a look at what type of things make that home unique that's going to be sold. What type of finishes do they have? Do they have granite as opposed to quartz? Do they have carpet as opposed to hardwood? And so we want to take a look at all the unique things that make the home special. And that helps our team adjust the technology to come up with the right valuation for both the seller and the buyer in that case, which is us. And so we leverage technology with real estate experience to be able to come up with the right offer, the right price, and hopefully a valuation that helps that seller feel comfortable moving forward with selling their home to Offerpad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, everybody knows if you're going to sell your home to an iBuy program, you probably won't get what you could sell it for on the open market for, right? I mean, that's part of the program. But people want to trade that convenience sometimes for that equity. But my question is, when you determine that equity or that offer, you're not actually going into the home and meeting with the senior and talking to them and finding out, what their situation is. You have no idea who that seller is on the other end yet, do you, when you make that offer?
Great question. Yeah. So the process to getting an offer is to go to our website, offerpad.com, and there they'll fill out, a seller will fill out a few questions to Offerpad about their home. They'll tell us about the different types of flooring that they have. They'll tell us about bedrooms and bathroom count. They'll tell us all about the home. And that takes about 3 to 5 minutes to complete. They can even provide photos of the home so that we can even get a very sound understanding of the inside look and feel of the home. Our team then goes about their real estate expertise by understanding the valuation of that home in that area. We don't actually go out and see the home in person prior to that, because it allows us to take a leverage all the technology and all the expertise that we have when it comes to making these offers, and get it to them in real time so they can get an offer back within 24 hours. And then from there, consider that as an option to sell their home. We've found that being able to communicate with the seller after we make the offer, we can adjust the offer with them if they tell us that we might have missed something, or they can provide us with more photos. But all of that communication is done after we go through and send that offer out to the customer so that they can take a look at what the Offerpad offer looks like and decide from there.
So while you're doing that, our relocation specialist, whose sole purpose and job is to advocate for the senior and educate the senior, is on the other end with the senior. They can actually do a Zoom together and fill that out together, so that we make sure that the senior is getting all the information in that they need to get the best offer. But we're also helping the senior then take that offer and figure out, is that a good decision for them, right? So we help them by having a real estate agent then, a full-time top producing real estate agent, go out, visit their home, and come back to them with a comparative market analysis so they can understand what would they sell their home for on the open market. So now they can look at Offerpad's offer and they can look at, okay, but if I put it on the open market, it's going to probably take me this long to sell based on what the real estate agent is telling me in the market, right? And I could probably get this sort of money, but then I have to pay this, my commissions. And we help them figure out. So if they decide they want to take an Offerpad offer, they're an educated consumer when they do that. And one of the things I loved about Offerpad when we started talking to you was that your management got on one of our calls and said, we are concerned. We would never want any of the seniors to feel that they were taken advantage of because they sold their home for 250,000 and a real estate agent came by and said they could have sold it for 270 or whatever it is. And I remember distinctly us reassuring your team that that's our job to look out for them. We will make sure that they have that information in their hands. So when they do make a decision, whether it be to list on open market or to use an Offerpad, they've made that decision with all the information that they needed to make a good decision for themselves. And anyway, I bring that up just because I do think that that's really important. In this day and age, we've seen it over and over again, rogue movers and things like this, right? Taking advantage of seniors. We loved that was very important to you as well. And we love the fact that you didn't have somebody just going into the home, assessing the situation, coming up with an offer. Talk to us a little bit about, okay, so they get the offer. What happens then? Do they have to pay to have it appraised, inspected? How does that whole process work?
Yeah, terrific question. So I want to emphasize this to make sure that anybody listening understands. The seller who's selling their home to Offerpad does not have to write a check or put up any money at all throughout this whole process. Offerpad as the buyer, we pay for the inspection. We put up an earnest money deposit. So in real estate, if you're selling the home, there's no cost to you throughout the transaction to sell your home to Offerpad. We are the ones who put forth the pay for the inspection as well as the earnest money deposit. Now we are a cash buyer, which means that we don't have to have an appraiser. We're not getting any financing for the home, which makes it even less stressful. The worst is when the home doesn't appraise and then that requires out-of-pocket funds. And it can just lead to that frustration and that those headaches that we talked about trying to skip when you sell your home to Offerpad. So Offerpad will send the offer. If it's accepted upon, agreed upon, we go under contract. That will begin our due diligence period or inspection period, where we'll hire a third-party inspector to go out and inspect the home. They'll inspect the entire home. They'll inspect the roof, the foundation, everything within that home to make sure that we as the buyer know exactly the condition of that home, what's not working, what is working, so we have a full understanding of what we're buying. One thing it's important to understand about our model is that we don't live in these homes, or we're not going to hold on to these homes forever. We're going to turn around and put them back on the market in the future. And so when somebody comes to buy the home from us, they're going to hire an inspector and they're going to come make sure that everything's working on the home that they're going to buy. And so that's the nice part about working with Offerpad, is that we will get that third-party inspection done. We'll pay for it. And then you'll be able to see that full report, and we'll go through it and decide what's important to us to be able to have addressed, because we think that future buyers are going to ask for those items. You know, think of HVAC units, think of roof, things like that. But the nice part with that is that we can actually pass on to that consumer our savings. And what I mean by that is Offerpad buys and renovates thousands of homes every single year. We did over 10,000 renovations last year alone. Wow. And with that amount of power of, think about ceiling fans that we're buying, or a flooring that we're buying, or paint that we can pass that savings on to the seller if those items need to be addressed. And so that's the most popular option for the seller and the customer, is to just say, Offerpad, I'll have you do all of the repairs or the items that need to be addressed after you buy it. And instead of me writing a check for a handyman to come in and fix it, we'll just give you a credit at closing, and you guys take care of those repairs after closing.
And you bring up a really good point. If they're selling it on the open market and they get into that same situation, right? And then all of a sudden the buyer wants inspections, and then all of a sudden the senior is spending $20,000 in inspection issues that they have to fix, or at the closing table, giving them a credit for 20. Yeah. My girlfriend just went through that very same thing. It's a lot.
And it has to be coming out of pocket with that cash. And
right.
For us, it's important that seniors understand that we will be transparent. We'll show them the entire items of what we want to have addressed. We'll go through, here's what our costs are that you can take advantage of, or you're welcome to go hire your own third parties to come in and make those repairs before closing. We give them options, but our solution is pretty awesome and it saves them a lot of money.
Yeah. And what kind of homes don't you buy, Brigham?
Good question. So our main focus is to buy homes that we will turn around and be able to sell on the market to the large population of buyers. We don't buy a lot of niche properties like farms or any type of manufactured homes or cabins or trailers. When we're buying homes, we want to be able to put it back on the market in the future and attract as many potential buyers as possible. So think neighborhoods, think communities, think homes where there are a lot of similarities to others, so that we can have a really good understanding of what that home's value is.
Right, that makes perfect sense. And now, does the home have to be cleaned out when you guys purchase it then?
Good question. So the home does not have to be in perfect condition. We do ask that it's vacant when we actually close, that all of the garbage and junk and stuff is moved out, but the home does not need to be pristine. It doesn't need to be, you don't need to bring in a bunch of different contractors and services post-closing. They just need to get all of their items out of the house so we can take possession.
Yeah, excellent. Well, is there anything else you want to talk about as it relates to the iBuy and the algorithm and stuff like that? I feel like it's been misrepresented in the marketplace a little bit, and that was a selling point to us, that the offers you make are based on real estate market data and not somebody just walking into the home and determining, oh, here's what I'm going to give you for your home, which is really how a lot of the local investors do it these days. We just wanted it to be very objective when a senior received an offer, right? And so maybe if you want to touch on that a little bit more.
Yeah, you bet. So a big part of our business is to empower home sellers. We want to be able to provide them with solutions that will make their decision-making process easier and more transparent. So our offers are made out of our local offices that we hire across the country. We're in, I believe, 15 different states, 26 different markets across the country. We have boots on the ground, real people inside of our offices in each of the locations that we operate. And those team members are making these offers based off of the real estate data in that area, the market data, not the customer situation. So there is not an interaction or an interfacing about the timelines or the different needs that a seller might have. We're making these offers based off of what is actually happening in the real estate market around them. And then our customer support team is reaching out to explain and connect the dots and to help them understand the offer, to be able to see if this can match up with their timelines. The best thing about Offerpad, my favorite benefit of working with Offerpad, is there's two big benefits. One is lining up their timelines so that they only have to move one time. Moving is the worst experience in the world. I would choose 5 root canals before moving again. Moving is not fun. And so if we can line up the closing dates so that you only have to move one time from your old home to your new home, that is going to be an absolute win for the seller. They don't have to move twice. They don't have to find a short-term rental. They don't have to go find a storage unit. It all takes place. And the best part, we haven't even talked about this, is Offerpad provides a free local move. Yes. We actually pay a professional moving company to move the seller into their new home. It's one of the greatest benefits of working with us, is that we will move you for free into your new home. How cool is that?
Right. That was going to be my next question. You beat me to it, Brigham. That is a really great point, the closing.
Yes.
You can schedule. So how quick from the time that the offer is there to the closing, and then how far can they push it out?
Good question. So to date, we adjust this, often, but to date, the seller has 60 days from us making the offer to be able to accept it and close. The real estate market is pretty volatile at this time. It changes on a daily basis.
Yes.
And so today we make an offer, customer can accept that offer and go under contract and close within 60 days. And so generally you want to have your next home identified and a preferred closing date already in mind within the next 60 days. And then we line up those dates. So you'll get an offer back within 24 hours and then can have up to 60 days to be able to close once you go under contract.
And that's just such a great solution for some of the seniors that we work together with that are waiting to move into a new community or an expansion, right? That's being built. And then, because sometimes those, they think it's going to be ready, January 1st, and it's really going to be February 1st. To have a little bit of flexibility like that is great. But, the icing on the cake is just the free move then. Our seniors would all qualify for that free move because they're all moving into less than probably a 3-bedroom, usually a 2-bedroom, 1-bedroom. And that's just really a really great add-on feature to your program. So like I said,
no heavy lifting, no appliances, furniture, boxes. It is definitely my favorite benefit that we extend to customers because their lower backs feel phenomenal the next day after moving. It's great.
Well, we don't encourage our seniors to be lifting their boxes and doing all that, but it's a huge savings to them.
You bet.
It's a huge savings. Brigham, you're the best. We're so excited to partner with you guys. You guys are a class act. We've really enjoyed our partnership so far. We're just feel delighted that we can bring this solution to our seniors. We can't do it in every market yet. We're, the quicker you guys grow, the happier we'll be. But where we can, it's certainly something that we will be able to offer and we will be offering. But again, always focusing on the senior, understanding their options and what it means to them so that they can make the best decisions for themselves at all times. And I know you guys are fully aligned with that as well. And this is why we love partnering with you. Brigham, thank you for spending the time with me today. Appreciate it.
You bet, Marie. Thank you.
Look forward to a bright future for all of us.
Let's do it. Sounds great. Thank you.
Thanks, Brigham.